Okay, so why are these TikToks still being made? Directly tracing over someone else's piece is a big no-no and calling your own. Wow, no fucking way! That's a bad thing. Who would have known? Hey, it's me, your favorite artist you're obviously subscribed to. Today we're going to be looking at some more bad TikTok art tips. You guys really enjoyed the last time I did this video, so now 2 years later, I convinced myself to do it again. You guys know that I hate TikTok with a burning passion because of the amount of content slop there is on this platform. I fucking hate it. So we're gonna go ahead and review some tips that I see, and I'll give my opinion about them. Remember that I respect every artist no matter how big and small, and this isn't supposed to be like a personal attack to anyone, so please don't harass any artist that I showcase in this video. This is just supposed to be me giving my brutally honest opinion on art tips that I see. So if I say anything that you disagree with, don't be afraid to give me your opinion in the comments, and yeah, remember to like and subscribe, and let's get started.
So I drew every single day for the past 3 years straight, and here are some things that I wish someone told me when I first started drawing. I wish someone told me to focus more on coloring than line art. Like, it might be controversial, but I stand by 100%. I feel like you can save a drawing with good coloring, but you can't save a drawing with good line art. You know what I mean?
Okay, I agree with the fact that good coloring can save bad line art, but I don't agree that you should be focusing more on coloring than line art just because of that. People tend to devalue line art because it's a pain in the ass, and most styles don't even require it. But if your style does include line art, this means that when you're planning your art, you're planning for your line art to carry important elements, like the composition, the structure, the flow of your art. When you paint, you're usually putting these elements in your color, since most painters kind of start off by creating basic shapes of their objects. However, if you plan on your style having line art, you're basically saying that you will draw lines that embody the composition, the structure, and the integrity of your drawing. If you start neglecting these lines, you're basically saying, I might fuck up the perfect anatomy and shapes in my sketch, but I really want prettier colors. While this may be fine to do sometimes, it's not a good thing to always do. Over time, as your color improves, you'll be improving on color theory, achieving great harmony in your colors, being able to create atmosphere and mood, but your line art will be stagnant, and it will be noticeable. Your drawings won't look as dynamic, such as the posing of your character, which way their hair flows, maybe the anatomy of your drawing will look bad, because your line art didn't clearly convey what you envisioned in your sketch originally. And also, just to be clear, sketching and line arting are not the same thing. Of course, you can use your sketch as line art, but sketches are unrefined. It's not as helpful as line art when it comes to clarity. Sketching is more like the initial idea, while line art is more like the final product. Anyways, your color shouldn't have to carry your line art, because there are some elements that coloring cannot create on its own, assuming you're not painting. Coloring is there to enhance your art and to build upon what you already had. Good coloring may make bad line art look better, but it cannot fix the fundamental flaws that the lackluster line art created.
Next, I wish I played around and used these stamp guidelines more. Of course, you don't want to use it too much to the point where you're 100% reliant on them, but I think it's super helpful for all levels, honestly. If you want to try something new, like a new style, a new pose, a new angle, honestly just a really good stepping stone to help you get started.
I would say stamps are good if you're a beginner, but if you're using them as a professional or intermediate artist, I would suggest not using stamps, because everything in your art has a style, whether that be the way you draw bodies, heads, pose. Every piece of artwork has a style. Remember, this only applies to intermediate and experts. And once you start using stamps, you kind of take away that style that you could have put into your drawing, and it makes it feel less like you made it, I guess. I don't know, styles kind of clash. And so if you're a beginner, stamps obviously could be helpful, but I don't think you should be using it as anything above an intermediate.
Here. Okay, this one's super underrated, but I feel like everyone should know. Is you don't have to be good at drawing everything to be considered a good artist. This is what I mean. Because I remember when I first started drawing 3 years ago, I was like, okay, I need to know how to draw everything. I was like, I need to know how to draw people, food, animals, cars, infrastructure, scenery, everything. And once I know how to do that, I will be a good artist. And then it hit me. I felt like a philosopher. I was like, you know what? You wouldn't consider Billie Eilish a bad singer because she can't do opera singing. Or you wouldn't be Cristiano Ronaldo can't figure skate, so he's a bad athlete. So just because you can't draw everything does not mean you're a bad artist.
That is true. I agree with that, because I can't draw men, but I can draw women. So does that disregard, does the fact that I can't draw men kind of disregard that I'm a good artist? No, it shouldn't. So yeah, I mean, we ended on a good tip, so.
Wow, Ren, those are some really nice colors you've got going on in this background. How did you get those blue jeans to mix in so well with the red surroundings?
Well, that's just the thing, Milo. They aren't blue at all. See? It's actually just a very desaturated orange.
What the fuck?
See what happens when I pull this color out into this neutral gray background.
Whoa.
As you can see, it's actually quite a warm brown.
I hate this fucking color theory trend in digital art. Like, it doesn't make sense. Like, oh wow, this white isn't actually white, it's a blue. Like, this trend doesn't make sense to do in digital art because literally almost every digital artist uses the actual color of the object and then uses a layer effect to bring the colors closer together. Like, it's not that fucking complicated. There's no black magic to it. Want to know how I got this blue to mix in with the orange surrounding? I took a blue color and I put a fucking orange layer over it. Like, it's nothing crazy. I don't know why these people are making it seem super, like, fucking crazy.
Look what happens here when I use an actual blue.
Oh.
Well, what color do you think that is?
It looks kind of blue to me.
Well, let's see. The hue is actually pink.
So you're telling me that the overbearing saturated hue of the red can shift desaturated hues?
Like, I will never understand this. Why are people making it seem so complicated? Like, it feels so pretentious. Like, oh, you thought this was white? This isn't white. This is actually gray, you stupid fucking small-brained pleb. I don't know, maybe I'm looking too deep into it.
This is why people don't take digital art seriously. This is cheating. Whatever. This is innovation. It looks great. The comments of this video are wild. Still had to put work in to make the custom brush. Like, work smarter, not harder.
I don't mind custom brushes, but when it's used on something super major like the hair, it can really stick out like a sore thumb. It makes the drawing look like there was less effort put into it. And it can really make like your drawings look repetitive and stale when you're using like the same brush for a lot of your drawings. Like, the human eye is very good at capturing patterns and like repetition. So I feel like if you were to show someone this drawing, they could probably see that you used a custom brush and it's like, like, it looks decent. But if you were to like to draw the hair manually, I think it would look better. You know, I don't mind custom brushes. Just in my opinion, they make the drawing look like there was less effort put into it. And like, look over here. As you can see, like, there's a lot of highlights on the hair. Like, each of the hair strands have the same highlight, and you know, that doesn't look realistic. Like, it doesn't have to look realistic, but some variety in the hair strands would look better than if they each just had the same highlight. Then it gets repetitive to look at, and it just looks like you used a custom brush. And then that kind of takes away, like, oh, they didn't put that much effort into the art, and that kind of makes it look worse, you know? Like, I feel like if you just kind of drew the hair strands, even if they looked bad, it would look better than using custom brushes, in my opinion.
Got another one for y'all today. This tool is called the Symmetry tool. What you want to do is head up to adjustments, click on that, toggle on the drawing guide, open and make sure it's on Symmetry. Click drawing assistance.
So I don't know if I've ever talked about the Symmetry tool before, so I could be contradicting to like a past me. But be careful when using the Symmetry tool to draw front-facing characters, because it's very easy to make your character look kind of stoic, static, and kind of dead inside. So as you can see on the left, the posing kind of looks very static and the character looks dead inside. Granted, I think it's fine because the character is supposed to be dead inside. That kind of contrasts like her colorful appearance is that she's super colorful, but really she's dead inside. So I think it's fine using the Symmetry tool there, but you can kind of see how like boring, quote unquote, it looks because like the posing. But the character on the right, I didn't use a Symmetry tool. Her eyes are kind of angled in a way where it would be front facing, but they feel more alive, and like adding just a little bit of, you know, unevenness like goes a long way. Even if you're tasked to make like a front facing portrait, I think it's always like good to add a little bit of angle just to make it look a little bit more natural. Like a little bit of angle, because nobody's ever looking at the camera of their phone when they're taking a picture like this, like just staring straight right at it. But remember, you know, like if you're using the Symmetry tool, it can kind of make your character look kind of dead. And here's kind of an example of, I don't think they use the Symmetry tool, but here's an example of like what kind of happens when you make the character look deadpan at the camera. She says something about her seems so uncanny besides being bald. Okay, tips on how to fix it. Like, adding like a little bit of angle to your character can kind of add more liveliness to your drawing. And of course, this person's facing the problem where they made her stare deadpan at the camera and it kind of looks uncanny, like they said.
Artist controversy? Tracing directly over someone else's piece. Big no-no. Practice with reference. Mimicking shapes is good practice. Helps with proportion.
Okay, so why are these TikToks still being made? I swear to God, every single tracing, like, tracing controversy TikTok have all the same fucking cold takes. Like, bro, I'm pretty sure nobody disagrees with the fact that it's fine to trace as long as you don't post it. Like, okay, directly tracing over someone else's piece is a big no-no and calling your own. Wow, no fucking way! That's a bad thing. Who would have known? Mimicking shapes is good practice. Who would have fucking known? Like, it's crazy how many times I've seen, like, tracing TikToks where my opinion on tracing, don't trace other people's shit, but it's good when you do it by yourself. Tracing controversy, don't draw other people's shit, but you can draw it for yourself. Like, it's the same fucking opinion. Why is this video still being made? Like, it's the coldest goddamn take in the art industry that tracing is fine when you're doing it on your own and when you're not claiming it as your own. I think virtually every single artist agrees with that. Even if you go to the comments of this video, I'm pretty sure it's people saying the same fucking thing. Like, it's the coldest take known to mankind. Why are we still making videos about this? But, you know, it's crazy, dude. Like, I think the things that trend the most on TikTok are the coldest takes or the hottest takes purposely made to be the opposite of the coldest take, so people get mad at it. It's so fucking tiring. That's it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to take a grain of salt when watching advice videos because not all advice applies to everyone. It's very important to know which advice will work for you and which ones won't. If you have any experience with bad art tips you'd like to share, I'd love to hear them. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and check out my Instagram while you're at it. Thank you once again for watching, and I will see you next time.